Most people believe they lose money because of bad strategies. That's not true. They lose money because of how they think. The market is not emotional, but humans are. And when emotion meets uncertainty, mistakes are guaranteed. Fear makes you exit too early. Greed makes you stay too long. Ego makes you ignore risk. And impatience makes you break your own rules. This is why most people never become profitable, not because they lack information, but because they lack control. Control over impulses, control over reactions, control over the mind. Welcome to the Profit Psychology. This channel is not about shortcuts, not about signals, not about hype. It's about understanding the mental game behind money. Because profit is not about being smarter than others. It's about being calmer than others. The market rewards patience, it punishes emotional decisions, and it exposes every weakness in your thinking. Most people never realize this. They keep changing strategies when the real problem is them. Probability and thinking. Most people enter the market looking for certainty. They want guarantees. They want control over outcomes. But the market offers neither. It only offers probability. And this is where psychology begins to matter. Because the human mind hates uncertainty. It looks for patterns where none exist. It creates stories to feel safe. That's why people chase winning streaks and panic after losses. The market doesn't punish ignorance. It punishes emotional reaction. Every bad decision feels logical in the moment. Fear disguises itself as caution. Greed disguises itself as confidence. This is why losing feels personal, and winning feels deserved. But the market doesn't know who you are. It doesn't reward effort. It doesn't care about intention. It only responds to behavior. Repeated behavior creates results, and repeated emotional behavior creates losses. Most people never notice this. They blame strategy. They blame timing. They blame the market. But the problem is internal. The moment you attach emotion to money, your decision-making becomes distorted. You hesitate when you should act. You act when you should wait. And slowly, without realizing it, you train yourself to lose. Why most people fail. Profitable thinking is different. Profitable thinking is boring. It is repetitive. It is unemotional. Profitable people don't seek excitement. They seek consistency. They understand that losses are part of the process and that reacting to them is optional. Discipline is not intensity. Discipline is restraint. It's the ability to do nothing when nothing needs to be done. Most people confuse action with progress, but in the market, patience is a position. The hardest skill to develop is not analysis. It is waiting without discomfort. This is where most fail, because waiting exposes insecurity, and insecurity demands action. That action is usually a mistake. The market rewards those who can sit in silence, while others panic. It rewards those who follow rules, even when emotions demand exceptions. Over time, this creates separation, not between smart and dumb, but between disciplined and reactive. The difference is invisible at first, but undeniable over time. Emotions and self-awareness. Most people underestimate how much self-awareness matters. They study charts, they study indicators, they study strategies, but they never study themselves. They don't notice how quickly emotion appears, how subtly it influences decisions, how convincingly it justifies mistakes. The mind is very good at protecting the ego, even when it's destroying results. After a loss, the mind wants relief, not logic, not discipline. Relief. That's why people rush back in. That's why they increase size. That's why they break rules. They're not trading the market, they're trading discomfort. And discomfort always demands action. Profitable thinking does the opposite. It accepts discomfort without reacting. It allows uncertainty to exist. It understands that not every moment requires a decision. This is why silence is powerful. Silence removes impulse. The market constantly invites you to act, to click, to react, to interfere. Most people accept every invitation. Professionals don't. Discipline, time and long-term thinking. They wait for alignment, not excitement. They follow a process even when it feels wrong emotionally, because emotions are temporary and rules are permanent. This doesn't make trading easier, it makes it clearer. Clarity replaces hope. Structure replaces impulse, and patience replaces urgency. Losses no longer feel threatening. Wins no longer feel intoxicating. Decisions become neutral, and neutrality is power. When you remove emotion, you remove distortion. When distortion disappears, probabilities can work. Time is the most misunderstood element in profit. Most people want results now, but profitable processes work slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. Boredom tempts interference, and interference destroys expectancy. Profitable individuals respect time. They don't measure success by today. They measure it by behavior repeated over time. One decision means nothing. Only patterns matter. Rules are not limitations. They are freedom. Freedom from impulsive decisions, freedom from regret, freedom from emotional chaos. Final ending, subscribe psychology. Most people will hear this and change nothing. They'll agree, then return to the same habits. Not because this is wrong, but because awareness is uncomfortable. If you're still listening, it means something is different. It means you're not looking for excitement. You're looking for understanding. This channel is not designed to motivate you. Motivation fades. It's designed to rebuild how you think about money, decisions, and uncertainty. There are no shortcuts here, no promises, no hype, just the mental framework required. To survive long enough to succeed, most people won't stay. And that's exactly why this works. If you want quick results, this channel is not for you. But if you want to build a mindset that lasts years instead of weeks, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to the Profit Psychology if you're ready to stop reacting and start thinking. Because profit is not a moment, it's a mindset. And this channel exists to build it. This content is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. For personal guidance, please talk to a licensed professional.